Live from DePrima Productions Studios in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, it's The Michael Show with Michael DePrima. All right, here we go. Show number 2 technically, but we did a test episode on Sunday, so show number 2. We got a packed show for you today. We'll start off with some lighthearted news. Then we'll get into our first interview with Ken Fiedler. We'll talk a little bit about life on the road, what he does for a living, and how COVID-19 has impacted him and his business. But first, let's get to some uplifting news. All right, I'm going to show you this quick article. Two-legged dog named Lieutenant Dan is this year's Cadbury Easter egg bunny. All right, some uplifting news. A two-legged dog named Lieutenant Dan has become this year's Cadbury Easter egg bunny. Look at him. Oh my gosh, he's so freaking cute. He reminds me of that dog, Milo from The Mask, that Jim Carrey movie, The Mask. Not the Rocky Dennis one with Eric Stoltz and Cher. That's not the one I'm talking about. All right, yes. So, pretty cute dog. All right. So, let's get into it. I'm going to give Ken a call in a second. But first, we can never forget our sponsors. So, here you go. It's a 1-minute clip. Enjoy.
I cannot live another day without air conditioning.
Says tomorrow's gonna be hotter.
Hotter?
Like yesterday.
Yesterday? Yesterday you said you'd call Sears.
I'll call today.
You call now.
I'll call now.
Now's the time to save on Sears installed central air conditioning. Get 0% finance charge, no billing, and no payments until August with the Sears Charge Home Improvement Plan. Call now for a free in-home estimate on a Kenmore air conditioning system. State-of-the-art engineering means greater energy efficiency. Kenmore could save 10 to 44% on your annual cooling costs. In time, even pay for itself. Sears also offers fast emergency installation, a 5-year warranty on parts and labor, plus our satisfaction guarantee. And you know Sears will be there to back it up. Get 0% finance charge, no billing, no payments until August. Offer ends May 31st, so call now and save with Sears.
So what's the paper say about tomorrow?
Another scorcher.
Cool. I cannot live another...
Sears is going to be there to back it up. Ooh, sorry, Sears. I know that's a rough one for some folks. All right, but that commercial is an old school one from the 90s. It's definitely one that I used to see as a kid and used to talk about all the time and make fun of with my friends in high school. All right, but let's get into it. I'm going to give Ken a call right now, and we'll start the interview. All right, so everyone is aware, we will be taking questions. People are gonna, my wife and Greg, if he's around, are gonna text me to tell me what's going on, who's asking questions, and we'll ask Ken those questions live. So hopefully he will pick up the call at some point. I did tell him 8:05 and I'm a minute early. Just trying to figure out, I guess, his setup. Oh, drop the Moomin. Sorry, Moomin. Come on, Kenny boy. Missed call from Kenny. Ooh, we tried to call each other at the same time. Let's try it again. Video call. Ken. Missed call from Ken. All right, Ken. You call me, buddy. I can riff for a while. All right, so if you have ideas of guests, people you want to see, I do know some registered nurses. I do know someone who's training to become a nurse who we're going to have on tomorrow. Tomorrow, as of now, my guest is my sister-in-law, Emma Altanji, and she... Oh, there's Ken.
Hey.
Kenny, buddy.
We did it.
We did it, man. We're doing it.
Yeah, something's jacked up with either my computer or the sign-in. So I saw you call like 4 times, but it wasn't.
Okay. It doesn't matter. Now we're talking. Now we can riff.
So yeah, what about Sears, man?
I know.
So depressing.
So depressing. What a shame.
I'll never forget. We went to the one near where was it, Walchung, when we were really young, and there was this electric scooter I wanted for Christmas, and I never got it. And it was awesome. It was like a big, beefy road tire scooter, and I never got it for Christmas. But I have one now, so it's all good.
Well, now that we're old enough, we can have anything we want.
Exactly. You just
Ken,
go get
back up off the mic a little bit. You're just coming in a little hot.
Okay,
little
let
hot,
me turn my
yeah,
game
there you
down
go.
here.
Oh, there. A little bit more. Give me a little bit
down?
more on that. Yeah. Can you count to 5? I'm just kidding.
1,
Don't
2,
do that. No, go up a little bit more. Just a little. Give me a skosh more.
Check. Hey.
Excellent. You even more if you want.
I'll try to stay in one spot too.
Yeah, cool. All right, Ken.
All right.
So, what do you do? Tell us. Tell the audience.
So for people who don't know, I am a glorified roadie, which means I'm an audio technician that tours with bands. We essentially are a contractor for the tour, and we go on the road with these bands for every different tour you can think of, from the big ones to small theaters. That's what I do. I've been doing it for about 6 years now, going on 7. Started my first tour in 2014. Worked for the company since 2013. So yeah, almost 7 years now. It's pretty crazy.
All right. So what are some of the artists? What are some of the big names you've worked with?
All right. So I don't have them in order here, but I actually keep all my passes, right? So
sweet.
All my credentials, which is
Adam
cool.
Lambert, Queen. I was there. You invited me.
There.
Thank you. We went backstage. We saw some awesome stuff.
It's great, right? I mean,
it was awesome.
It's seeing stuff that most people don't see. So I won't get hung up on that real quick, but I'll show you. Like, I have Queen. I got Paul McCartney.
Nice.
I was on that for a couple weeks for stadium stuff. The Weekend I was on a couple times. I don't know if you can see those.
Hey, Ken, raise your volume a little bit more from what I'm getting from the viewing audience. Raise your mic, yeah.
Okay, I could talk real nice into it too if I have to.
That's probably a little too much, but yeah. All right, you're good.
So the Weekend, yeah, we have the Weekend. I'm looking at my signal too. It looks pretty good here. I'm not clipping anything.
How was the Weekend? So the Weekend was in Uncut Gems, that new movie. Was he like doing anything during that time? Did you ever hear anything about it?
I was with him either 2015 or 16. I mean, unfortunately,
so several years ago.
Unfortunately, these things don't say the date on them, which I wish they did. But I did tours with him before he was even big, before his huge hits came out. And then I was on the big tour with him when I Can't Feel My Face song came out. Everybody knows that one.
So what kind of venues, since he wasn't as, blown up, what were the venues like?
That one, actually, he would play the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
Starting, he was pretty big.
Yeah, it was so weird because I've never heard of him, and then like you see all these people come out for his show, and you're like, how do these people know about him? And you look him up. He's Canadian, which is one thing, which is perfectly fine, but he's in like a really alternate kind of music genre. It's not really pop that you know about, but he was great. He didn't do any filming when I was with him. It was a couple years ago, but he was super laid back. Really nice to talk to, a really nice guy. He's actually a really, really good singer too. He does a lot of Michael Jackson covers, which is really cool. So
see, I was never that into him, but seeing him, obviously, movies inspire me. Seeing him in Uncut Gems and listening to some of the music that was in the movie, I was like, oh, I could probably get down to that.
Yeah, he started one of his songs for the live show with the song Dirty Diana by Michael Jackson, which is a pretty big 80s, or it's either late 80s or 90s hit. And then he went into one of his songs, which is really cool. So, and it worked out really well. He's a phenomenal singer. But I'll keep going on here.
Sure.
All right. So, and then again, like it's all over the place. So that's Eric Church. I did country stuff with Eric Church, Chris Stapleton, the one, the only Kanye West.
Nice.
Oh man, that was brutal. For other reasons than him being whatever, but Bon Jovi, I don't know if you could see it. Does it look okay on your camera?
Yeah, it looks fine. I mean, I can see myself reflecting back. It kind of looks
little glare.
Like a weird face off when you see Nick Cage's
reflection
in the doctor's glasses, that kind of thing.
I was with Bon Jovi for about 5 months. Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
That was a great one.
Who was singing with Black Sabbath?
That was Ozzy.
It was Ozzy?
It was Ozzy. Yeah, it was the original Black Sabbath. And what's cool about this pass is, I don't know if you can hear it in the mic. Let me get a piece of metal here. This is actually, because they're metal.
Oh, yeah.
It's a metal pass.
Ozzy doesn't
which
skimp.
is awesome. No, it's awesome. And then you got Three Doors Down. Everybody kind of know they've heard of Three Doors Down. They're not huge
people our
now.
age, yeah.
And then Fish, man, we did a lot of work with Fish.
Oh man, what was that like? Just clouds of smoke everywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can't get away from it. You get you unfortunately get the contact high when you go to those shows. But and everything's.
Do they drug test?
No,
Does Claire drug test.
I mean, our company does, yeah. But
so all right, so Claire, you work for a large production company that puts out bids to do these shows, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So like I said, we're like the audio contractor for the tour. So every tour has a lighting crew, video, audio crew, production who actually makes the shows happen. And then the backline deals with the instruments, and then you have the artist people who deal with specifically the artists and essentially hire us to be the crew for that full tour, which is crazy. But for Claire, which is based out of Pennsylvania, they've been around for like 65, 70 years almost now. They pretty much started concert touring, at least for the audio aspect of it, which is
They build their
cool.
own gear too, right?
We build our own speakers, our own amp racks, monitor desks. We build everything to specification for these tours. And the warehouse out there is actually getting it's pretty small now compared to what it used to be, because we just keep filling it up. So it's amazing how much stuff they have out in Pennsylvania. It's about 2 hours from here. And people actually know the town other than there's staging companies there and all that stuff. But people like my family, like they're like, oh, we went out to Lidditz, which that's the place in Pennsylvania. It's called Lidditz.
Chocolate place.
Yeah, they have a chocolate factory, which is really famous.
Actually, our last night's guest, Greg, I'm pretty sure her family is from Lidditz.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's a great town. It's a great little town, good people, but people have no clue how much money is in that town just from the touring aspect of it.
All right, so moving on. Before I get to like some stories or favorite people you toured with, I want to know, what is your average day like on when you're touring? What's the setup like? How many days?
On an average day, not a travel day to a venue, not a travel day to rehearsals and stuff, we are usually up around 7 to 7:30 in the morning. We have riggers come in. Those are the guys who actually pull all the motors to hang all of our stuff that goes up in the air. The stuff isn't there when you get there. Everything is done that day, that morning, which is unbelievable. If people come see it,
so they build the whole thing.
Yep, everything from the lighting rigs to the speakers to the video walls to the stage. They build everything that day, that morning. So that's why we have a crew of 60 people, because everybody's doing their own thing, which is amazing. But
so
our
you
day
travel in one day, the next day you build the whole show, and then you do the show that night.
That morning we start building the show. So usually 7:30 we get off the bus, go in. The riggers are pulling points for us, which is I'll talk about audio first. But so for audio, usually we don't dump trucks till about like 9. So you go in at 7. You have a couple hours to kind of hang out and make sure everything's coming off the truck properly. Kind of like what we did at Verizon, just make sure everything's in the building and all that stuff. If people don't know, I work with my Verizon part-time too. So we've been comfortable there. But yeah, we get off the bus, go in the building, go get breakfast if it's up. And then points get flown first, which is big. All the riggers have to pull all of the gear off their trucks, all the motors. They're all hooked up to electric motors that fly all the gear up in the air. So anything you see in the air is never there the day, at 3 o'clock in the morning after show's over, the gear is gone. Stuff doesn't stay, and stuff isn't there before.
So what time does your day start and what time does your day end?
7:30 start. And then roughly, it depends how fast our loadout is. Every building's different. Roughly 12 a.m., if not later, 1 a.m.
So it's a full day.
It's a full 16 to 18-hour day, yep.
And then the next day you're on the bus, or that night you're on the bus traveling to the next location. How many days in between do you usually have? So
every tour is different. That's one thing people don't really know about either. Every tour is different, where we travel sometimes to the next venue and do it again. And then sometimes do it again. So it's a 3 in a row, which are horrible. But then sometimes you go right from the venue to a hotel, which is cool. So you can hang out on the bus, party if you want, stay up as late as you want. And then the bus finally gets to the hotel. Then you get off and have that day off, if you have days off. So every tour is different. With Ozzy, which is cool, he had a show day, and then it was a day off after. And that was the entire gig, was show day off, which is awesome. But some of these pop tours don't do that. Some of them do 3 in a row, some do 4 in a row. So we're working 3 days straight, 18 hours a day, how many miles apart from each other, and then you get a final day off, and then you have to do it again the next day. So
Jeez. All right,
it's crazy.
So, real quick, if anyone has any questions for Ken, put them in the comments. We'll make sure we ask Ken. All right, Ken, next question. What is it like on that bus? How many of you are on there? You know, what are the living conditions like?
So usually living conditions, and here's the same thing. So we have a bus company that's a contractor, right? So the production company will hire the bus company, and depending how many people are on the tour, they get usually 10 to 11 people, crew members on a bus. And it's just a tour bus, right? So they usually sleep 12 in cabin, which are 3 high. And usually I'm on the top bunk for some reason. I'm a big dude and I'm always on the top bunk, which sucks. But the bus is fun because like once you're on it, you usually get set and the bus never changes. So you can keep luggage on it if you want, depending on what your situation is. There's a back lounge, which is cool. So we have, we can play video games, we can hang out. A lot of people just, what they do is they go to sleep on the bus, to be honest with you.
I'm sure. Yeah. With days like that. Absolutely.
And if you don't have time off during the day, you just crash after your work day's done. But we have a front lounge, and then it's bunks, and then a back lounge is usually what it is. So, but I mean, again, you have to get to know the people and be friendly with people. Otherwise, it's not going to be fun being so close to 12 people on a bus.
Yeah, no,
which is crazy.
So, what are the characters like on the bus? Would you say anyone who lives that life, there's a certain thing about them? What is it like? Give me some of the instances of people.
So there's roughly 4 famous rules to the bus. Number 1 is don't poop on the bus.
Really?
Right? People don't know that, but yeah, we had a guy on I was just on the Jonas Brothers this past year, and he pooped on the bus twice. And we were like, dude, stop pooping on I mean, it's $300 to get it cleaned out, right? So always go number 1 on the bus. If you're going to go to sleep, make sure you're in your bunk area going to sleep and not in the front, because you'll get Sharpie drawn on your face if you don't. That's always famous. Sleep with your feet forward towards the driver. So if the driver slams on his brakes during your sleeping, you don't hit your head or break your neck. And then just pretty much the 4th one I always tell people is keep it clean. Keep the bus as clean as we can, because there's, again, 12 people in a very confined area.
So it's kind of a responsible frat party. Yeah. Like months on end.
It's like, imagine like a 3-room apartment that's really small, and you have to stay with 12 people for 6 months on end.
Oh, dude,
it's crazy.
I don't know if I could do it. I mean, I could do it for a short period of time, but I don't know if I could do it for an extended, like a 3-monther.
No, it's not for everybody. If people don't like being away from home or don't like dealing with people, it's definitely not for them. And not only just the hours for the work, but just like I said, dealing with so many people at once. It gets crazy.
All right, so give me some of your stories. Do you have any favorite tours? You got any stories of things that happen on tours?
Yeah, my favorite tour has to be the one that you went out to. Was my first one.
Yeah.
Just because, I was brand new.
So that was Queen and Adam Lambert.
Yeah, Queen and Adam Lambert. It was like 30 shows through the summer. It was all arenas for the most part. And Brian May, the guitar player, was just such a nice guy. He was the nicest person I ever met. And the one regret I have is not going out to dinner with him, because he invited us to dinner like 4 times. And like every time we did it, we're like, oh, we have a load-in day, or we can't do, or we're, short on time. But he was so nice to talk to. He always cared about like what you were feeling that day, and like, hey, how's the venue and how's the place and how are you guys actually feeling? He's a pretty smart
dude too, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, one thing I didn't realize too, he's like best friends with the guitar player from Black Sabbath too. So they would always talk about each other. I'm like, oh yeah, and then you tell him, oh yeah, I toured with Brian, 3 years ago. I'm like, oh, how was he? He's super nice.
And this was before the Queen movie came out. So,
oh yeah.
A lot of people didn't even know who Brian May, people our age. I mean,
yeah, of course. No, the Queen movie, it came out like 5 years after. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different stories, but not so much PG. But you catch my drift. But I mean, like the one thing people don't remember is there's outdoor venues too. So not everything is air conditioned arenas, right? So we have to deal with the outdoor areas too, like PNC Bank Arts Center. And those places aren't easy to play, especially if you have an arena tour going in there. and then you have to deal with weather. I mean, there's been shows that we had to cancel or postpone or whatever because of lightning and thunder, and we're like, are we having a show or not? So that's a big challenge. People don't really remember when they say, oh yeah, you're touring, that's awesome. It's like, yeah, but it's not fun. Like,
yeah, no.
You're dealing with.
It can ruin your day and ruin your gear.
Absolutely. And that's what's different from what we at Verizon from touring.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I mean, it's totally different.
Yeah, the rigors of the road. Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of something. I mean, like the country artists are really cool. They're really down to earth.
Yeah.
They're more so than, the pop and rappers and all that.
Would you prefer rap, pop, country, rock and roll? What was your favorite?
I'm a metalhead.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
going on the road with Sabbath and Queen and all the big bands. I mean, I have some other ones like Guns N' Roses. I was on tour with Guns N' Roses for like 3 or 4 months. And they're like, that's the badge there.
Beautiful.
And they have their show so polished and their production is so polished. And I just love the music. So going in, it's going to be a good day. You get to hear Guns N' Roses every day for the next 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
So they were really good people.
I got a question for you from Jerry Shortle. Jerry Shortle asks, once the show is up and running, so once everything's going on, what are your responsibilities or what are you and the crew doing?
That is a good question. For most of the tours, we are on staff essentially because we have to watch all of our gear and make sure if they're doing a sound check, the gear's working right. If we're doing a line check, the gear's working right. Dealing with our engineers because our engineers are not people. They're not our employees. A lot of the times they're just hired by the band. So we have to deal with them and make sure everything is going properly.
So the band
for
has
them.
people they want
Correct.
intermingling with your crew and you gotta kind of gel together.
Yeah, and not always the case. A lot of the times it is a Claire mixer. We call them mixers or engineers. Sure. A lot of the times it is Claire people who used to work for Claire who mix now, which is awesome. That makes it really easy because they understand how we operate and we can deal with them. But a lot of time it depends. Like we had 3 openers or 2 openers on Jonas Brothers. So once the Jonas Brothers were done, we rotate, put another band on stage, get them done. Once they're done, rotate again, get the first band on stage for the night, and then you go from there.
Wow.
So it's not like we just put the speakers in the air and go to sleep for 4 hours, on the bus. Like lighting could do that because they have so many people on staff or video people. If they don't need video people on call, we're always in there because we have to always do the rotation. So again, it depends on the artist.
So what shocked you the most coming into like your first couple tours? What was something you totally didn't expect that you were like, oh, okay, I guess that's business as usual?
So business as usual, it's a funny one, was Paul McCartney. Everybody through like our training class at Claire, Paul McCartney is straight up vegetarian.
Yeah.
Which I had no clue until you actually get out there for a couple weeks. Like, wow, I don't want to be vegetarian. I have nothing against people who are vegetarian, but changing your diet from not having
so he
just
makes
vegetarian.
The crew eat 100% vegetarian
on staff. You have to eat vegetarian. There's no
Only
meat on staff.
Paul McCartney could get away with that.
That's what I
Only
said.
Paul McCartney could get. No one else.
Super nice guy. Would say again, he's like a Brian May. He cares about the crew, but he's like, yeah, I'm vegetarian, so everybody else is going to be vegetarian. So on days off,
change your life. Wow.
Yeah, on days off, we would go to Morton's and all these steakhouses. Right? You have to. So that was one thing that really shocked me. I'm like, oh, he's actually gonna. All right, we're all vegetarian now for the next 2 months. So that just happens. So imagine.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So that's like imagine just changing your diet out of the blue to nothing but tofu and other stuff. It's like, oh, okay. You eat it a couple times, you get used to it, but then you're like, no, I'm good. So like I said, on days off, we had to go out.
Totally. I got a question here. Matt Fiedler. He
Who's
says,
that?
how is Kanye West such a lyrical genius?
He, I don't blame him because when I worked with him, he was kind of going through his mental stage.
Oh yeah. He was
right
in
before
that
the election.
dip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did 2 shows with him. The first show, he showed up like an hour late. And then the second show, he barely showed up. He was about 2.5 hours late.
Oh man.
And then I think our promoter, Live Nation, was in the house. It was either Live Nation or AEG. And they were in the house and like, hey, why is he so late to every show that we've been at? And this was in California. They did 45 shows before I got there.
Oh,
and I was taking the place of a guy whose wife was having a baby, actually. And they're like, oh yeah, we did 45 shows. It'll be easy. It's another 35 shows after this. So the 2 I did, he was late. And then he does the weirdest thing. He'll start a song, get everybody hyped and going, and then stop the song and then restart it. He'll just do no. Stop the track.
Unless he's feeling it, he's not gonna.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
It's like he's rehearsing in front of like 20,000 people. It's the weirdest thing. I never expected that.
Does he record live tracks and he has no rhyme or reason for it? Probably.
No, he does live tracks, but he did it every night, so it's obviously part of his deal. Like, hey, I'm gonna just start and stop when I want. And it was the weirdest thing. People would get going, and the audience would be going, and they're all into it. And then he's like, no, stop the track. And then he went off the deep end with the whole Trump thing, and then and this is right at that time, which is so funny. I'm like, oh, of course, the tour I'm on right now is going to get canceled. And it was a good 4 months of work, and it got canceled. It was like November. It was the week before Thanksgiving of one year, and we're like, how are we getting home because the flights are all booked, and like and that was a really weird one. We were supposed to do a makeup show for Kanye at the Forum in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And we set up all the gear. It's like a normal day. And then we had a production meeting, and they're like, hey guys, this whole show that we just worked hard for 12 hours is canceled. Yeah. Just out of the blue. It's canceled. And then our audio crew chief came up after us and said, hey guys, don't go anywhere after we're done talking. He's like, hey guys, I hate to say this, but the whole tour's canceled.
Oh,
so I don't blame Kanye. I mean, if he had his problems, cool, whatever. But like, again, people don't understand that it's our livelihood.
Oh yeah.
And it's not him, like the fans. Yeah, I understand the fans don't get to see the show, but I mean, that's 6 months of work or 4 months of work, whatever the contract is, gone.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing about what's going on right now. I mean, that's why I'm doing this. That's why you're here. We're gig workers. We only work if there's work. And right now there's no work. You can't have any gatherings. You can't, no one's doing shows. So we're not working. We're just hanging out. And it's not just us. Restaurants are closed too. One of my
the hotels are killed right now too.
The hospitality industry is dead in the water right now.
Yeah, we're pretty much moving. We're entertainment. I mean, that's when entertainment gets hit, you actually realize how much in your life you need entertainment and to be doing something.
Yeah.
That's one thing I realized, the past couple of weeks. I was supposed to be at Coachella after this, like in like a week or two. That all got canceled. We're like, all right, 2 months of work gone. And then our company's like, hey, actually we're on lockdown until like further notice, because all the major corporation promoters, Live Nation, AEG, they canceled tours until further notice. So we don't have a job right now. And our company's like, well, road staff, we can't do anything for you because we don't have work coming in. There's no work coming in. So it's unbelievable. So I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, the bright side is when this is all done and over with, there's going to be so much work that you're going to get sick. So
that's a good thing. I got one more question regarding work, regarding roadie life. This is from Jeremiah Rouse. He wants to know, is it common to downgrade an opening act's sound so the main sounds, is better or looks better or, everything?
So that's a good question. I heard about that through college more than anything, or one of our instructors told us about that. Us being the audio provider, we never do that.
You can't do that. Yeah, no way.
Legally, we probably can't do that. I mean, they say, hey, they're screwing with our audio, they're screwing with our tracks, they're screwing with whatever. It's going to turn out bad for us, and we'll get fired. Not fired from the company, but from the tour. Sure. And then we'll have to be like, hey, answer to that question. Hey, why are you screwing with their sound? And that's why a lot of the openers have their own mixers come in, and we just provide them with, all the gear and the setup and the labor. So they have their own people. It's like, hey, no, your guy screwed up the sound, not us. So that's one way to look at it.
Jeez. One more thing. I remember you told me once that Claire was bidding for a Kiss tour. Mm-hmm. But I think you also said what Kiss does is they'll take the lowest bid regardless, and
so that's one thing
with a promise of future work.
That is definitely one thing. I mean, in the industry that happens. That's the one side I really don't know about for the most part, is like the accounting aspect of it. That absolutely happens though. It has to. oh, guarantee us this tour and then we'll use you guys for the next
Yeah.
5 years.
I mean, in
that
my
happens.
industry, it happens all the time. Like, oh, can you shoot this video? Can you shoot this video real quick? It's really small, nothing big. And, there'll be the promise of future work. If this goes well, we'll hire you for more other things.
Yeah, of course.
And it never, ever, even you could do the best job in the world. They could tell you did the best job, but
Yeah. And then you never hear from them.
you never hear from them again. It's happened so many
that definitely
times
happens.
early in my career.
Yeah, in our industry, that definitely happens. There's a lot of not so much nepotism, but people who they have their crew, they have their group. They call them, they're pretty much their family, their road family. Where they're like, oh no, I've been touring with this guy for 20 years.
Mhm.
Whether he's good or bad, they take him. They get him to do something. So they're not. It's not in a bad way. It's just there's definitely that insider stuff happening. We're like, oh, we'll use you guys, but we need to knock off how many million per year our rental is. It's ridiculous. But Kiss, a fun fact with Kiss is they care about merch more than
they sell
anything.
a ton of merch. I heard
everything. It's when I was in college, I think our instructor said it was like roughly they estimate $100 per person.
No
going
way.
out. Yeah. So they make a ton of money on merchandise, which is unreal.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
All right, dude. You got anything else? What are you doing through this whole COVID-19 shindig?
Well, I got to show you this because wait, you're a Star Wars guy. You like Star Wars, kind of, right?
I'm wearing a.
I'll show people. So this is a Jonas Brothers. I don't know who photoshopped it, but he didn't do a very good job. It's Joe, Nick, and Kevin. I don't know if you can see it on the glare, but they're like the Star Wars guys. It's pretty bad. You could have probably. I could have done a better job.
Photoshop, but I'm sure they got a kick of it when they saw it the first time.
Yeah, that's always a good one. No, so through the COVID-19 thing, we're really hoping that there's some sort of cure or something happening soon because it is absolutely devastating our industry. Not just touring, but like you said, our industry.
Have you heard anything from Claire? Like, have they been keeping in touch?
Just the normal kind of generic,
dude, like my
email.
Dentist is sending me emails. Like the most random things. My air company, my HVAC,
HVAC,
my HVAC. They're like, hey, just so you know, it's like, guys, I get the PR game that's being played right now, but it's overkill. My inbox is just spammed.
I know, and they know everybody's staying home for the most part because they closed everything. I mean, what other than like emergency services and like grocery stores and all that stuff, they deem necessary. I mean, we can't work if we wanted to.
Yeah,
that's the crappy part of it.
Well, yeah, there's a whole like talk about lockdown. Like, oh, we're gonna go. I know New York did it. Virginia canceled school for the public schools through the end of the year. It's like you're not coming back regardless of what happens.
Yeah, I think New Jersey's going to do that soon because they're just like, it's already April almost.
I think it's a little premature for that. I think it's a little premature, but what do I know? I make videos and produce events, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very weird time.
Yeah.
Like I said, like we said when I spoke to you before, we've never seen anything like this.
No.
We went through 9/11. All of us went through 9/11. Obviously, it didn't affect us. I mean, I'm sure
we were young.
We were kids. I was in 5th grade, and it was crazy. It's just like I don't remember stuff shutting down like this is shutting down because of that.
Well, yeah, 9/11 didn't spread the way this thing spreads. Like it is insane what's going on. Just unprecedented. And
absolutely.
Hopefully the people in charge will be able to do a decent job at figuring this stuff out.
One thing I want to mention, so people, the whole touring industry, whatever, it's not all music. So I worked for the Pope in 2016.
Did you really?
Yeah, the Festival of Families in Philadelphia.
I don't remember you telling me that.
Oh, man, that was crazy. So that was like a lockdown. That was like they shut Philly down. Only workers coming in.
Philadelphia.
Yep. And like, I mean, this is like from the Secret Service, these passes, right? I mean, like with the
Vatican
ridiculous.
Secret Service.
Oh yeah, look at my mugshot.
Nice. Nice.
Well, yeah. So you couldn't go on stage without having these, otherwise it'd be like, looking at you funny. And they had the Secret Service police, and that's the most people like law enforcement I've ever seen in my life. And it was funny. They shared the catering tent with us. So like anytime food started coming out, they're like, "Oh, okay, we gotta leave because all these cops are coming because they're just gonna get in line and take over our food." So I'll never forget that. That was crazy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, hopefully the whole virus goes away soon. I mean, I think they're working on it. I'm trying to be optimistic and not freak out too much with it.
We're committed to a quarantine. We're here. I'm only going out for food shopping and sometimes to see the occasional family who has also been quarantined.
Yeah.
That's what America should be doing right now. For those who have to go to work, for those who stock the shelves, God bless you. You're doing an awesome job.
Yeah, the whole toilet paper thing I don't get. Like most people,
we could talk about that for a second. We got a couple of minutes before we get out of here. Why? If anyone knows the reason, why toilet paper? Please tell me. Like I don't understand it.
I think it's the fear of, oh, maybe I can't get it next week when I go to the store, so I'll get 10 of them now. I'm like, well, okay, but they're still manufacturing it. So why are we going nuts?
Food? Wouldn't you think like canned goods?
Exactly.
I don't
would
know.
Be first. I know.
You would think.
I don't understand it. As soon as it kind of started getting crazy, I was like, well, people are going to go for the toilet paper and like not really essential stuff. There's just weird stuff that won't go bad. It's like, okay, what does that mean?
Insane.
Like, I mean, the one thing I don't understand with this whole New Jersey thing and the other states is liquor stores are still open. Dispensaries are still open.
Keep people happy.
I know,
because keep people happy.
They're smart though, because they're like, if people can't do that, then it starts to go bad.
I'm sure people are just drowning themselves. Unfortunately, it's crazy. They got nothing better to do and just hang out. I mean, you can watch movies, you can watch the news. Don't watch the news.
What a time to be alive.
To movies, yeah. What a time to be alive. Getting drunk and watch movies, and you have no other option. Jeez,
you can't go outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. I just hope it all ends, for our sake and anybody who's in our industry who's hurting right now, who didn't, it makes you think like, make sure you have another savings account that you put money away and for emergency
as a
purposes.
Freelancer. I always try to have, 3 months of living expenses because you never know what's going to happen. And in a case like this, maybe that's going to pay off. God willing, it's not going to be 3 months before we get work again. But, if it is, I will do my best to stay sane and keep my sanity.
Well, I mean, we can't go months like this. They can't. We
might have to, right? What if they force us?
That's the scary thing. Well, that's the whole martial law, and
I don't think it's going to go as far as martial law.
They can't.
I don't think it can. Like, people will go insane.
They'll revolt. They'll have
exactly.
to.
I didn't want to say like full on people will revolt, but yeah, full on people will revolt in certain parts of the country. Absolutely.
Instead of people being civilized going to the stores, it'll be crazy. It'll be pure chaos, which we don't want to see. And that's what, unfortunately, our government, they can only do so much about that. But again, with the states and everything, the states have to just, relax, take control, make sure everything happens properly and go from there. But yeah, until then, I'll be watching movies and, playing drums, learn an instrument. If you want to learn guitar, learn to play guitar right now.
Time. A friend of mine told me he bought a ukulele. Like, well, I always want to learn ukulele, so I bought a ukulele, and now I'm just sitting at home teaching myself.
Exactly.
It's a brilliant idea.
And on YouTube, it's awesome because there's so much content out there that can help you learn the instrument properly. So while you're inside and you can't go to work and you can't do this, you might as well do something productive.
Yeah.
So,
and for those of you watching, obviously you're watching this show on YouTube. The YouTube algorithm is excellent. Just start searching things that you like, things that you have an interest in, and YouTube will start feeding you that kind of content. It's really remarkable how from just a couple months of using YouTube daily, it knows me so well, and the stuff it recommends is just stellar. Just, going down that rabbit hole in an awesome way. I'm learning a lot of stuff. All right, Ken, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon, and give us updates. I'll give people live updates. Hopefully this won't, like we said, go too long, but I appreciate it, buddy.
No problem. Anytime.
You take care of yourself, and God bless, my man.
You too. Take care. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
All right. Ken Fiedler, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Ken, I always call him, because the dude, he should have a PhD in awesomeness. All right. So that was our show for today. that's what we got. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have ideas for guests, if you have things you want me to talk about, if you want to do a movie review, if you're looking for something on TV to watch, if you have HBO Go, there's that McMillions show. It's got 6 episodes. It just had its finale, I think a week or two ago. Check it out. It's pretty awesome. It's an easy watch. I guess that's about it. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. We got, what is today? Tuesday. We got 3 more days of shows, guys. 3 more days of shows this week. All right. So, till next time, take care of yourselves and God bless. I'll play you out here.